Okay, here we go. Boxing fans, here we go. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, man. The chapter's still going on here. What's going to happen next? Are we going to get the rematch? Um, I tell you, the word is coming out that Turkey Al-Rashid has presented an offer to both fighters. Right now, they're saying that Devin Haney has signed his portion, but Ryan Garcia hasn't agreed to his as of yet. And what seems to be the big holdup is the drug testing issue. He doesn't trust VADA. And the thing about it is, to me, that's really kind of confusing about this whole thing. And I think a lot of people have lost perspective on it, is the fact that, VADA has a partnership with WBC. Devin Haney is the WBC champion. In order to fight for that belt, you have to enter into the clean boxing program, which the WBC sponsors. So you would have to partake of the VADA testing, because this is Mauricio Suleiman's policy. And it's a fair one because, you have to do something about cleaning up the sport. As far as his issues with it and everything, he seems to have the only unique case against it. But real for real, when I look at all the evidence and things, man, I'm really disappointed with Ryan Garcia. I was really rooting for the guy, man. When he lost to Tank, how everybody turned their back on him, and the fan base had turned his back because, in that time he went out and he fought here in Houston, and he fought Oscar Duarte. He did good in that fight, but there was a lot of people in there that was rooting against Ryan, man. And I was like, man, this is messed up, man. Ryan just trying to go out there and have the best fights, and he really, I was really, really riding with him, man. And he gets with Derek James, and he gets with Errol Spence and the whole crew, and they all get together and do their thing, and it ends up being a good thing for him. And I had predicted in an earlier video that that's the trainer he should have went and got, because Canelo's trainer wasn't right for him for his fighting style, which he proved me right, so kudos to him for that. But, seeing the aftermath of this fight here with Devin Haney and everything that has transpired since then, I kind of grow sour on Ryan, and I really am disappointed about it because, I really rode with the guy, man. I thought that was really terrible what Oscar did to him and everything, and I'm not a big Oscar fan. I never have been. From way back in the day, Oscar, I just, it's a lot of people don't like Oscar, but anyway, Ryan would seem like a guy that was just trying to make it out there and everything, and for a long time, him and Devin Haney was good friends. They came up together. They fought 6 times in the amateurs, split 3-3. They known each other for a good while, and Devin has always been trying to make the fights. Devin has always been proactively after everybody. Lomachenko, Teofimo, even Ryan Garcia. And he even came into Ryan in the ring after Ryan beat Duno and told him, hey, man, how about me and you fight? And then he kind of blows it off and he says, I'm going to fight all these other guys and I'm going to fight you last. But he always held Devin Haney to a certain respect. That's cool. They know each other, whatever be the case. He figured, well, I got to get through all this and that probably be the big fight. No problem with that. Well, anyway, they go ahead and they have the fight. And, he wins. He knocks him, he drops him 4 times, and it was spectacular stuff. Left hooks was nice. It is what it is with that. But to come out and find out all of the things that took place behind the scenes, it really leaves a bad taste in my mouth because, for one, he never intended to make the weight. And a lot of people are just brushing that off, but that weight is a huge thing in itself. On top of that, seeing this guy take the IVs and everything, and I'm like, what is he taking IVs for? And if you notice, during that the pre-fight thing, when they showed the 365 program or whatever of the fight as they were advertising the fight, he was sitting there with the IV and he was like, yeah, I like the way it tastes and everything. And I'm like, IV? You can taste the IV in your mouth? That was kind of odd to me as well. And this thing is kind of, confusing. So it's like people have really been going over from the time that this happened about what's the possibilities. Could this be something that was really highly effective or not or whatever? But we have to realize off the top, people has given Ryan Garcia a pass on the nandrolone that was found in his system. You see, now when you add that with that IV situation, you realize that if he was IV and he could be reducing, then he's trying to mask whatever he has. Maybe it was successful as masking it down to that little bit of that, but the ostarine he couldn't, and that's what it seems like it happened here. Because when I look at Ryan, and I've been watching a lot of Ryan's fights. Like I say, as a fan of Ryan, I watched him, and Ryan has a different kind of continence about him, and I was like, he's a real likable dude, and I like the way he approached the game and everything and how he was going. I was wishing the guy well, but I can't co-sign for anybody. I don't care who the fighter is to participate in any of these things. And I have to say, from what I see now, I'd have to say that there was much more going on than he's willing to admit, because here you are. This is your greatest achievement. He'll admit that himself. Biggest payday. Okay? You have a chance to repeat that. You say all these things don't matter. They present you with an offer. I know it's pretty lucrative. Well, who else? You can't make any more money fighting anybody else without this rematch. This is the biggest money you can make. How can you turn it down? And the reason you're turning it down is, oh, well, I don't want to do the drug testing. I don't want to do the drug testing. And Devin Haney pushes it even further. He goes to Olympic-style testing, 365, 7-day-a-week test, in fight and without fights. So he's like, okay, and the only thing he's ever been asking is to say, hey, man, let's do this legally like this. Now, you guys were friends in the past, and back in the days, man, in boxing, man, like when we had Black Murderers Row, when nobody would fight those guys, and those guys couldn't earn a living, man. Your buddy, you depended on your eating and how you fed your family was on your buddies giving you a shot to fight and having these 6 or 7 matches between each other. But here now, you're not willing to do it, and both of you guys can make a big payday about it. If it's an easy win, what do you have really to lose? You really have nothing. And then you want to bring in Victor Conti and all these people, and it was this, it was that, it was Scooter. He just had so many things he was blaming it on, but he never had the balls to be a man and say, look, I did that, I was wrong. Let's make it right. Let's come on back here and do it. That would be the manly thing to do. That would be the manly thing to do, and I would respect him greatly for that, or any man for that, because you got to, earn up to the things that we done wrong. And it looks that way to me, because if you just look at the fight and you see how aggressive he was, it was the non-hesitation in the fight that really gave him the edge when they threw the left hook. Everything he did, he never hesitated on anything, because he was just jacked up like that and just ready to just go. Devin was the hesitant one, and there was where the balance of the fight had swayed. Now if that was the case, or if it wasn't, here's your chance to prove it. Now, say you do take it. He said, okay, I agree to that. And we had the fight and we see the same thing. But then, boom, I have to admit, just like everyone else, well, man, we was wrong about that, man. Ryan just did what he did. It's a settled issue. You got more money. You're a champ for the first time in your life. If you choose to make weight, because he had said before that he couldn't make the weight. If you look at Ryan is pretty damn big. Ryan stood next to Earl Spence, and he was every bit as big as Earl. Maybe a little bit bigger. So is he really supposed to be fighting at 140 or not? Hey, all these things need to be settled out, man. But I'm very interested in see what happens. And I hope these guys can get it together. But we need to clean up boxing and get that stuff out of there. Now, as for all of the comments that he had made and the racial stuff that he had said that really wasn't necessary and never needed to be said, and even his father, that was another thing that really disappointed me. And, I don't know if you could ever outlive that. Once you let that out the mouth, man, it's just something that's going to live with you. But he is his own man, and he said, hey, ain't nobody going to touch me. Ain't nobody going to do nothing, and he ain't going to catch me apologizing. So if you're going to stand on business like that, then you need to get your motherfucking hands on your balls and hold them and get in that goddamn ring and fight my man again in another fight then. That's what I say. So, everybody wants to see the fight. Come on, give boxing what it is, because you want to handle it in the ring. You definitely don't want to handle it in the streets. And both of you guys are fighters. So let's get on in there and get this thing done. Turkey She's got the money, the venue. He's really pushing boxing. Jump on it, man. Jump on it. You know, if he gets in there and the fight, however the fight ends, you get up there and you say, hey, you know, I want to apologize to everybody, man. I said certain things. Just man up to the things that you have done and try to make the amends the best way you can. And it's all respect. But that's all I got to say about that, man. Let's go check it out and see what happens. Black Star Sports TV, we are out.